Do you have a micro USB cable?
Oh, should we move this over?
Yeah.
It's fine, it's fine.
Okay. Good afternoon. As chair of the Historic Preservation Board, I'm calling the meeting to order at 5:10 PM. Clerk, please take the roll.
Mr. Brett,
Here.
Mr. Jones. Ms. Muskie. Here. Mr. Rosa.
Here.
Mr. Shalom,
Here.
Mr. Taylor,
Here.
Ms. Walker. And Chair Marks.
Here.
Yep.
Okay, we do have a quorum. We are now going to stand and pledge allegiance to the flag in the corner over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Has everyone on the board had an opportunity to review the minutes from last month's meeting? So does anyone have any questions, concerns, or would like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the August meeting.
Seconded by Tim. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Everyone who wishes to speak to the board today must be sworn in. So right now, please raise your hand and stand to be sworn in by the Assistant District Attorney.
City Attorney, sorry, please stand and raise your right hand if you have a seat for the board here. Please swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but.
Thank you. And just as a note, each member of the public that wishes to speak on any item will have a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes per item. Representatives of associations will have 5 minutes. And Chair, our first case is certificate of appropriateness for major alterations, UDP HP 24020. And this is at 416 Palm Mount Avenue. Client or his representative?
Yes, sir.
You like the disclosure?
Would you'd like to do disclosure? Sure. Richard?
None. I've been by them.
Okay,
Nothing.
nothing.
Nothing. I recused myself. It's my problem.
Okay, I've been by. Okay. Thank you.
I'd like to pass these out, and I do have slides up there.
That might be easier.
This is yours,
Well,
right?
no, yes, but,
Okay,
we can't have the slides and the site plan at the same time. So I thought I'd give 3 copies of the site plan to, and then you all can keep it. I know
Okay.
That's one of the things you need.
sure.
So,
Very simple. You wanna move your name here?
let's go here. I've got 3 copies.
No, this is,
I don't need it. Yeah. interesting.
yes, I think he lives there. If you guys can see it over there. Yeah,
Is that enough? Okay.
yeah. Even upside down, it looks good.
No, I think, you probably want it.
Oh.
Those are the board members. that-
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, we can see it right there.
They said they could see it.
See it? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Good afternoon, board. My name is Art Bengochia. I'm AS Bengochia Architects. I have been Richard and David's architect now for going on almost the 3rd edition or the 3rd project we've worked on this house. And this one, which I will describe the project first, and the last slides are why we're doing it. It's more than just them wanting extra space. So I want to start that if you look at the first picture, what we're looking to do is change the front door of the building.
Can you actually pull it up in full screen?
So, because you're abstaining, technically supposed to come up with
You can
it,
still participate though.
right, it's
I
just
just
that,
can't vote.
right, it's. Well, the resolution, the city resolution says not to do that at all, just come up with it.
Brian, yeah.
And can we make the screen larger? There we go.
Okay, so what we're doing is changing the front door of the house from the west side of the house. And if you look at, it's on the Palm Avenue side. West is to the top of the page there, or the top of the page over here also. We're moving it to the Waverly Road side, which is the north side of the building.
Oh, the single door here.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Which was part of a 2012 addition that was done to the house. So what we're proposing to do and touch does not affect at all the Peterman residence, which has totally been restored.
right,
And its front door actually faces the river because they considered at the time it was built that the river was the front
right.
of the house. So we're gonna make that the front door and we're gonna create a porch. If you can go to the next slide, please. We're gonna create a porch coming off of that wing to highlight that it is the front door. The house is a Mediterranean styled house. Like I said, was built in 2012, and then we did an addition for them in 17 and 18. So we're trying to keep it simple without being overly flashy. And if you go to the 3rd slide, that's the side view of the porch. So it's an open porch. And under the ULDR, the porch does encroach to the 17-foot mark in the front. That's why we didn't come for a setback reduction from you all, because the front will be the Waverly Road side. If you'll go to the next slide. You all had approved a couple years back putting the front door where that window is now. And because of what I'm gonna show you in a little bit, we've decided, and my client has decided to change it from a door to a window. And if you look at the report that Chris Logan wrote, I don't think she had a problem with those two additions. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. So if you'll go to the next item. So what we've done here, is it okay if I went up there and with my
Yeah,
pointer?
absolutely.
So what we've done here is created the new entry right here and the new porch right here. There's an existing block wall, which you'll see some pictures of, that actually goes around the entire property now. We're gonna cut the block wall, which the block wall here and here is only 30, not quite 30 inches high. We're cutting it and opening it up. And then bring it coming back, and at the three, this wall would be 3 feet, this wall would be 3 feet, and then these two columns would be 6-foot columns. This would be a 6-foot wall, a 6-foot wall, and a pair of wrought iron gates to open it up. And this is now over 12 feet, which right now that would help open up as you come across, it'll help open up that front. And you'll actually go up 2 steps here. Right at the sidewalk. So this little walkway will be about a foot higher than the sidewalk. And then that matches the height of this existing driveway that's here, so you'll be able to come all the way up to here and then straight across to the porch.
The driveway does not remain because,
No.
because you show a car here, so it's.
So the car is here.
Oh, it can park
It
there.
can park here, cause
Oh.
this is where the entry is. I can
Okay.
show you, and the garages are over here, and you'll be able to park here.
Right,
And then this will just ramp up slightly to meet this level. There's an existing driveway here that will eventually be removed also.
okay.
So I know that, in the report, it said that it doesn't quite meet the, Sailboat Bend historic, preservation guidelines. But, in my opinion, it doesn't, picket fence of some kind doesn't fit the style of the architecture of this house. Which is what you're supposed to have, a see-through. And right now, there's an existing block wall. And so we wanted to have a nicer entry, something that people would know where the front door was, because right now, if you go by there, you're not quite sure where the
Okay.
front door is. So this will help define the front door. We have 2 little landscaped areas so that there'll be some landscaping on either side of that raised patio, a little front patio. And then you'll be able to come right through to the front door of the,
How tall is that wall you're describing outside on the sidewalk?
what we're
Wall.
doing, this wall here, and I'll show you a picture coming up. This wall here is 30 inches. This is gonna be 30 inches. 30 inches, 30 inches to a pier and a pier, and then this is 6
Okay.
foot.
Okay,
And then as you walk by, you'll be able to look through the railing or the fence to see the front entry feature.
okay, I see. So the landscaping won't be above the fence or too
No,
high.
and what we did is created a landscaped area here, and a landscaped area here, and this is all landscaping
Right.
here, and this is all landscaping here.
Nice.
And just, so you know, that wall dates back, was built in 71. So it's not something where,
It's almost historic.
yes. Um, So, and while we're talking about this area, there's something else in the report that we don't quite agree with. is that we've done 2 archaeological digs on this property. And the sewer that was brought in goes right through this area. So that was done in the 70s, 80s, whenever the sewer was originally put in that area. And there's gas running through there and several other utilities that run through there. We don't feel that it will benefit anybody to do any kind of archaeological dig in that area, since it was already done for that structure, the 2012 structure, and then again, when we did the 2017 to 20 structure.
Okay,
So I would like that removed if possible.
I have a question for Tricia while you've raised this. Is that something this board can even discuss, or is that a part of? Shari, I'm sorry, or is that a part of the building permit process?
So it's in the comp plan, it's in our land use plan that's required in certain instances, so
Who decides?
the city decided to put it in there as a requirement. So
Okay.
the-
Okay,
But we have done that, but, so it's a waste of money personally, and they just did the. At the park, at the Tequesta Park, where they dug the trees and I believe in talking to some of the neighbors, they really did not find anything of any
Okay.
value in there.
That's not completely accurate. We do have a report of the findings of what was covered during the plantings of the tree.
Can, if there was a survey done on this property previously, can that same survey be used? Because, I
The
mean,
thing is, like, it's not really asking for a complete survey as part of the condition. It's really
right,
asking more for monitoring of the new ground disturbing work. We already know that this area is part of an archaeological site that's been recorded previously and it extends from Tequesta Park going further east and further west. So we already know there's significant material within the area and it's just the facts of the location close to the river. But I haven't read their archaeological report and survey for quite some time, but I believe that it did say monitoring would be required. in
Okay.
those Other instances.
but it was not asking for an archaeological plan
An archaeological survey, yeah. I
It
did
was,
have a discussion with our archaeological consultant about this, just because, you know, there has been previous development there, and he said he would still recommend that they definitely have monitoring. He said testing in the locations where they're going to be digging should happen, but at least monitoring.
okay. I'm sorry, please continue.
So if we can go to the next one. This shows an elevation a little better. That this is the existing wall. And this wall is a little over 5 feet. These are 6, just shy of 6 feet existing. This is a 30-inch wall, 30-inch wall. And then we wanted to just put
Mhm.
something to define the front. The gates, middle slot, package slot, and then some kind of nice carriage lights,
Okay,
which would help light up the street also.
sure.
So if we can go to the next one. This shows the existing conditions on the property, starting from the east side of their property, going down toward Waverly at the end. You'll see 425's wall across the street.
Is this Palm Avenue?
This is Palm Avenue, this is Waverly.
Oh, this is Waverly,
Yes,
okay.
and Palm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll just do it
Good
from
ride.
here, it'll be
It's
easier.
much easier.
This is Waverly, this is Palm, this is Waverly.
Understood,
And then the new entry feature will be right about in this area.
okay.
If you can go to the next one. This is actually the cut that was made for a temporary. So this is only temporary.
Right.
You see there. Next one, please. This is Palm Avenue. And this will start with what I want to tell you why we're doing this. When we had those 20-some inches of rain a couple years back, and then the other 10 so inches of rain not too long ago, which you'll see pictures, this became a river. And it got to the point where there was so much water that people that were driving down the street were actually creating wake.
Of course,
And the wake was going into the openings.
right.
Along in here, and it actually, water did get into their house.
Mm,
So we went, and asked and received a permit, and the work has been done now to take this little low wall, basically all the way across, and fill in where the car gates were and the man gates,
okay,
to try to keep water from this side. I didn't take a picture, and I'm sorry I didn't, but you will see a picture on the east side. We've put a 6-foot wall.
there are no sewers here, correct? Are there sewers?
The street, there's sewer.
Okay,
They're, on the other side where Tequesta Park is, because they abut Tequesta Park, the land is very low. Their seawall is very low.
I think if you go through further.
Yeah.
You'll see.
okay, go ahead. I won't ask.
This is across the street, so we're not asking for anything that isn't part of the neighborhood and the fabric of the neighborhood.
But your wall is lower.
My wall is, yes, sir. Next, please. Okay. This is their backyard after that rainstorm. Now, that's why we put the wall along between us and Tequesta Park. You can actually see their seawall a little bit here. And they've gotten a permit, and hopefully we'll start work within the next 3 months to raise their seawall to 5 feet.
Great,
So when we have this wall here, it'll act as a dam. We'll have that will keep the water out, and then now we don't have water coming in off of Palm. So next slide, please. So again, this is the wall that we built dry on this side and not that side. And this is a fence that was put in by the city to separate the Kiner Bray property from Tequesta Park, but the river has basically become part of the park. Next, please. So these are just pictures of along along Palm.
That one's a video, I think. So if you click on the video, it should work.
And there's their property. You see how it's even going over. Sure. If you get this stuff, we've seen
it, yeah.
Back or just? No, then again, just the next one, is that it? No, here, this is, Palm Avenue, and this is Waverly over here, and this is the house across the street. And you'll see that it's very low in this corner, which is part of the reason we want to do a wall in front of our house, and step it up to try to minimize any water intrusion coming from the street onto the property. Next, please. There,
One was before the fence, one was after the concrete, so it kept the water out.
yeah, you can see the wall here and the height of the water on
And
that
that's a
side.
3-foot wall?
It's about 3 foot wall,
Okay.
yes. Next, please. And then again, this is Cuesta Park.
Nice.
Yeah, they didn't know they were gonna be an island. That, if there are any more, we can.
I think
Yeah.
I think we understand what you're attempting to do. Is it, there's,
And Chris, I have hard copies if you all want. Like you can keep the video off.
Yeah.
So,
The digital one.
oh, there's, okay. So I don't know if any of you have any questions for me?
I think as we speak, there may be some, so sit nearby.
No problem. I'm more than happy to stand.
First, I'd like to ask if there's many members of the public who wish to speak on this matter. If not, we'll close the public discussion and we'll open it to board discussion. Sonia, why don't you start?
I read through it, and especially looking at the pictures, it seems consistent with the neighborhood. It seems reasonable. This, in some instances, necessary. I don't have any opposition.
Okay, and there were, I just want to review, the two issues were, one was the height of the wall. What were the two issues you mentioned? That-
Tricia in her report had said that the wall in the front where we did that is really not consistent with the design guidelines
Okay,
for Sailboat Bend.
and Tricia means a solid concrete wall. Is that what you're referring to?
Correct, yeah, so in our design guidelines, it says.
Right.
That the height of fences in the front yard is
Got it.
36 inches.
Okay. You have any feelings about the wall?
I don't have any feelings about the wall, that there's walls like that in the neighborhood
Right.
already. If the fence isn't gonna hold back any longer.
Okay.
Yeah, I would echo Sonia's comments. The wall of that style already exists on like part of the property anyways, and across the street, as we saw, same thing. And I'm also sympathetic to the flooding issues.
Okay. Richard,
I have no issue with it. I guess the only question I have is if the city actually had any comment on what would happen once it's fortified, so that it doesn't literally look like a movie scene the next time that occurs. Where does that water go? I mean, do they have any idea on where that could go next? Because we're all just pushing it around, right? Just sloshing. So I'm just curious, and I don't blame you for wanting to protect the property. That makes total sense to me, but
Right now, this neighborhood is not right on the immediate schedule to have any kind of storm drainage done.
yeah,
So, and the neighbor right across the street is here also.
right.
And I think she can tell you how much water is in, on both, Palm and Waverly.
I
Right.
think your picture said 1,000 words.
Everything we're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Those two events.
I mean, wouldn't it make sense to just
We have to-
put
we
some
can't- we
mitigation
can't
into the
speak from
park,
evidence.
to some level of effort, if nothing else, to try to find an area in which to
Well,
trench something, dude, at least make it
Just
appearance wise seem like there's an effort being made.
just so you know, the park also has a 5-foot wall in front of
Yeah,
it.
no, it just, I live in the neighborhood as well, and it just seems like there's no solution even proposed at this point. And it's not, I'm not here to have a whole,
That's a whole. other
it's a whole
discussion.
different discussion, but I'm in favor of what
Okay,
it's presenting, because I see the reason.
Tim,
I'm in favor of what they're proposing to do. I think it's appropriate and a nice solution to their problem. It blends right in with what's already there. I have no opposition to any of it.
how do you feel about the wall?
Well, that's a city issue that should have been taken care of before this problem started, and now maybe they will.
Okay. So I'm in favor of the project. I think it looks wonderful and I think it really makes a lot of sense, and everything you've done is from that era, so it makes it look very authentic.
Right.
I think the wall is fine. We've had so many issues over the years with walls in Sailboat Bend. And we've always said that we need to change the guidelines so that we don't have to have this discussion all the time. I think the fact that it's solid certainly is not per the guidelines, but the fact that it's only 3 foot high and provides, is there for the visibility, I think that's a good thing. So I would be in favor of it. So with that, does anyone have any more questions, comments? If not, we'll be open to a motion.
Happy to make a motion.
Oh, thank
but I
you.
may-
Well, read
but
at the very,
I may need help. All right.
yeah,
Yeah, I know that.
you know where it is.
Conclusion, yeah. So I'll make a motion to approve the application for certificate of appropriateness for major alteration under case number UDP HP 24020 located at 416 Palm Avenue as outlined in section 47-24.11.D3CI under the ULDR. Based on staff recommendations, public input. With conditions
Okay,
as outlined in the staff report.
You want to include all of the conditions in the packet?
there's 7 conditions. Now, is that what we're
It's just,
for? I'm sorry. I'm not looking at the right one.
On page 7.
That's the wrong one.
I think.
Yeah.
With all 4 conditions,
Okay,
and that's it.
okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Tim. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Okay, and now we have. Oh, wait a minute. No wonder. I'm so, too much paper. So now we have case number UDP HB 24030, 327 Southwest Second Street. And Tricia, can I hand it off to you? Do we have any disclosures?
Yeah.
I didn't buy the property.
I've driven by.
Same.
Same, okay,
Drive by.
okay,
None.
okay. Tricia, now,
Which one?
Who's the red flash drive
No, which
of September? Then you go to like 5, 4 or 5. So this application is for a request for major alterations, which include site plan modifications that include a number of items, new construction of 2 wooden pergola cooking stations. You go to the next one. Installation of 1 new mobile bar, 1 new ice cream bar, installation of canvas awnings on timely structure, and after the fact placement of 3 shipping containers and artificial turf. And if you go to the next slide, on the site plan, which is included in the packet that shows all of the locations of all of these elements. This property is located at 327 Southwest Second Street, which is in the Hemmershey Historic District. And so a few years ago, they did come in for a request that was somewhat similar in nature to this, where they did get approval for 3 shipping containers on the site, and some of the other site improvements which are already in existence, including the square patio areas that have shade coverings on it, but they're coming back to request the shipping containers again because they removed the ones that were previously approved and put back new ones that are slightly different.
oh, is that why we have to approve them again?
Yeah, they're slightly different in appearance, and then they're also in a slightly different location, the ones that are on an angle. And then the previous board approval, it did say the condition, one condition was that they had to be in the location where it
Oh.
showed.
When was the previous board approval?
It's just,
I read
instead
it.
of at an angle.
Okay.
That are side by side, we're just straight.
Okay,
But in addition to that, they have several other elements that they're looking to add at this time.
Good.
So I'll kind of go through a couple of them. So for the wooden pergola, if you could go forward 1. Oh, no, go back, please. So the 2 wooden cooking stations, there's one closer to the street and one off to the side on the east side, and they are 16 by 10 foot wooden pergolas. They would be open on 3 sides and a flatted side on one of the sides. And then the roofing material is metal, and that is not a roofing material that's commonly found within the district. So in the staff report, I did recommend that a more compatible material would be identified for those. There's also a new mobile bar, which is in the corner. It's in the northeast corner of the site. that is noted on the plans. And then in front of the building is an ice cream car, which is located on the plans just towards the street, kind of in the corner of the
Right.
L-shaped front. Right now, there's also a gate that is securing that mobile vending station. And the gate is kind of a collapsible metal gate that really doesn't fit within the district and.
Where are you talking about on the site plan?
And on the actual building.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You gotta
So-
identify yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Ilea Haber, I'm the architect for the,
great.
so the mobile bar she's talking about is located right. to this. Or no, I'm sorry, the ice cream truck.
Now, where was the fence? Patricia was,
It's not on the plans, but it is
My
installed.
name is Larry Man, I'm owner. The picture you see.
I would request that maybe we do the staff report first.
yeah, let's do that. And then you'll have a chance to sort of present.
Okay, so, it's not specified on the plans, it doesn't fit within the character of the district and it should be removed.
You mean the ice cream car?
Well, the ice cream car really shouldn't be in front of the historic structure either, but in addition, there is a fence that was installed without a permit and it's already in place.
So is that part of the application?
They didn't put it in the application, they didn't put it on the plans, but it is there, there's a photo of it. I'm sure I put it in the staff report, but it is there currently. And then there's the shipping containers that are there. Previously, I had stated the fact that the shipping containers use a corrugated metal on the exterior, and that was part of the original staff report from the previous request. And did recommend that a stucco finish be placed on that to match the adjacent historic resource. The board did approve it previously without any exterior finish.
I'm sorry, I lost you somewhere. You're suggesting what should get a new stucco finish?
The corrugated metal on the shipping. container.
Oh, on the shipping
Yeah.
finish.
So they
That should get
previously-
stucco
Previously had an approval.
or stucco?
For the shipping.
Oh, I remember it.
And so as part of that previous staff report, I did make a recommendation that it should have an exterior finish that's sympathetic to the neighborhood, to the historic district, and have a similar finish. The board approved the previous application without that recommendation, but I did
Okay.
carry it over into the staff report. They are the same, more or less the same size and height as the previous one. One of the shipping containers, which is labeled wine storage, does have glass on the exterior on one of the sides that's facing into the courtyard area. But the other ones do have the corrugated metal finish on all four sides. There's also, after the fact, placement of artificial turf and a bocce ball court, which are located on the northern side of the property. Or the bocce ball courts on the northern side of the property, the artificial turf is placed throughout. In this case, the artificial turf isn't directly in front of the property. But it is something that I had to point out to the board that it is on the site, it is behind the fence, and it's already located on the property, it was already approved by the board. And
So why,
is
you
it highly visible?
if it's already been approved, why is it being discussed?
No, the artificial turf is not.
It's
already-
not part of this,
Yeah.
okay,
It was not already approved previously.
it was not,
There is a fence on the property that was previously approved,
okay,
and it is behind that, so it's not highly visible.
Right.
But it is an open yard. And then the last item that's under consideration is the canvas awnings on the primary structure, and Jerry, could you go to the next slide? And they're being requested in multiple locations. There's a little bit of a discrepancy versus what is already in existence versus what is shown on the plan. And the sizes, so that's part of the conditions that I'll go over in a little bit, but the canvas awnings that are on the western side of the structure extend over the property line, and if they did pursue that as a request, they would need to get further approvals from engineering and the city commission.
so is that a variance?
It's called something else.
Okay, all right.
But
I won't question.
revocable license. It's required if you extend past your property line.
And how far past the property line are they?
About 3 feet. Yeah. So, but they may be amenable to removing those on the western side only. Those are the only ones that are affected. So for the most part, the application either partially meets criteria or does meet the criteria. There are a few elements, like the exterior material of the corrugated metal shipping containers and the metal roofing on the cooking stations that do not meet the criteria. There's some additional building regulations for the H1 Himmershey Historic District for new construction specifically, dealing with height and length regulations. It does meet those. Those regulations, and then we did kind of conduct a zoning review, and they would need to kind of update the plans for permitting, just with some additional information like dimensions and indication of where things are located.
I might also suggest that the architect put your address on here.
So in conclusion, in accordance with the ULDR, staff finds that the application for a certificate of appropriateness for major alterations under case number UDP-HP24030 located at 27 Southwest Second Street, partially meets the criteria as outlined in section 47-2411 D3CI of the ULDR, partially meets the criteria outlined in section 47-2411 D3CII of the ULDR, and partially meets the criteria outlined in section 47-17 of the ULDR. The board must make a motion for approval with conditions or denial. Is the board adopts a motion for approval with conditions? There are several conditions outlined on page 8 for the board's consideration. 1, all awnings must be fabricated using a canvas material. 2, awnings facing the right of way may not extend further than 36 inches from the face of the building, and awnings that extend into the right of way require a revocable license. The applicant will be required to show proof of a permit for the existing awnings, or if a permit was not obtained, the existing awnings will need to be permitted to conform to the code requirements. 3, fence and placement of an ice cream car at the southeast corner of the structure is not approved as part of this application. 4, shipping containers must have exterior finishes similar to the existing building and neighborhood. 5, signage is not approved as part of this application and requires a separate certificate of appropriateness application. 6, administrative site plan level 1 application is required for the proposed site plan changes, which must be completed prior to permitting. And 7, the application is subject to the approval of zoning, building, and all ULDR requirements, including landscaping and floodplain requirements.
Thank you. With that, applicant, please introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Larry Miller. Just bought this property in April. And we're building a Stone Emily's garden. And the idea is to put together artists in terms of the chef around the county to come and consult with us and cook with us on the outdoor stations. We want Pumarola as well, so we do pizza there. We have a burger chef, we have a tapas from Boca Raton that's coming down. We have a guy that does breakfast from 8 AM, we close at midnight in the weekend, 10 PM. The weekdays, we plan to have some music, like jazz. And we want to have a customer 35 and up. Necessary all the kids. By the way, I hate the fence that we put up. I put a 1940 Fiat 500, which was built in Italy, cost me $35,000 to do it. I ship it over, put it outside.
Which fence are you talking about?
The one, if you take a picture, you can actually clearly see it in the front.
Can we go back to the pictures? I'm sorry. Which one?
If you go back, I saw it. I saw it.
Okay.
There, it's like, see this fence?
Oh,
There's
okay.
a car underneath, and this car is a vintage Fiat 500. We made it into a freezer so we can have ice cream in it. So I covered it with like a big motorcycle tent, and in the weekends there is so many kids, and they basically kicked the door. So
Oh.
we had to replace the door and have another door shipped from me, that it was like, it looks, guys, let's put a fence up there. Also this, you see these things, every single weekend. They punch it, they're upside down, so I'm gonna have to remove all this, put something that cannot be punched. This glass, I see blood on this one day.
Impact glass.
On the lantern, yeah.
Well.
We did impact glass, we replaced all the glass.
Yeah.
This is all the impact, and by the way,
Okay.
you know, there's also a river when.
Let's discuss some of the items that Tricia mentioned.
We open at 8 a.m.
So
and we
that-
close at midnight.
but that
So
fence-
Is always open.
That fence is part of the application or no?
So they did not include it as part of the request, but it's not permitted.
Okay.
And it is not included in this request, but it is there, so it needs to be removed. And it can't be, it wasn't shown on the plan.
I remove it.
But they could propose a different thing that
They
would be
can
permitted.
propose a different fence, but it is on the front of the structure.
I understand.
So
Okay.
it's really.
I remove it.
And I just wanted I wanted to ask if, just to address the items that were in question here, like, well, the fence was one, the awnings.
Awnings is a mistake, because this property, if you put back in the picture that shows the property, we own most of the sidewalk. 10 feet from the building, it's ours. It's not the city.
Every side is fine with the awnings except the western. front.
Of the west.
Yeah, there's, you go back the property line.
Yeah, the two windows on the west.
See, we own up to here.
No, he's talking over there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
We're living in those. That's all
Yeah,
right.
she's right.
I don't even want them.
Okay.
You guys want them.
Well, if you can keep going, where the awnings are? These, right here, she's right.
Yeah.
Those will encroach over.
Okay.
No, I don't want them.
Okay,
Well,
They asked. for
so
it.
you have to introduce yourself on the microphone.
Richard Mercedes,
Okay,
they might want them, so we'd have to get an approval from the city, I guess.
it's up to you. You let us know if
No,
you,
I don't want them.
so you don't want them. So, well, then that resolves the awning issue. Okay. What about, so we talked about the fence and the awnings. What about the shipping containers?
Shipping containers were already there. So what happened is they were all rust. They took it away, the previous tenant, they took it away. So I put brand new,
Right,
they call one tripper. They do one trip and I put it in the same place. I
Okay.
just tilted them a little. And now they were called storage. So it's like, you know what? I don't like storage. I did a wine cellar.
of course.
So impact windows, we have cabinets that, you know, we have wine in. There was already AC in it, so we replaced the AC. We made it brand new, it's insulated, and the other one, it's actually.
And how do you feel about covering the shipping containers
Plants. I
with
would do
stucco?
plants. I will put plants all over. around.
Planks?
Yes,
Oh, really?
they go around. We're putting extra landscaping on the property. I mean.
Okay,
We wanna do something for the neighbor. That's
Okay,
it's all about.
good.
I don't know if any of you has passed by the property. We made it 1,000 times better.
Yeah, absolutely.
The synthetic grass, I found a way to have not to have what are they called, gulls? Oh, which I hate them. So
Okay.
I found any way I wanted to do all pavers, the city wanted to build me. I was like,
Okay.
what do you want me to do? So I put synthetic grass, which was,
Anything else you wanted to tell us about this in regards to the comments in the staff report?
no, only the property goes up, this one, these two, it's on the second floor.
What are the awnings material now?
Well, they wanted some sort of plastic, I told them on canvas, and I wanna say.
I'm sorry, okay.
Very sentimental. So I
And why,
kept it.
why are canvas awnings not allowed?
Canvas awnings are preferred.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Oh, you do want, okay,
Oh, yeah, no.
okay.
Canvas,
That
same
answers,
color.
that answers the question, okay.
I don't touch the.
So the only thing is just the two on the west side, that's all.
I honestly
Okay.
don't want them. I told you
Okay.
the request. but-
And you understand that the signage is not approved as part of this application.
Percent.
Any signage on the building will be a separate application,
didn't
because
find
we
it.
don't deal with the signage.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't ask for signage.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just making it clear that
It's,
it's not.
it's just part of the city, what they say.
Yeah, no, we still
Pardon?
have to do.
Yeah, we'll be submitting.
Okay, we'll submit for
Sign
sign
application.
application approvals. We didn't submit that.
Well, that's what is the city saying.
Okay.
We
Okay.
the comment, I remove the fence, don't make me remove the car.
No. And do you have anything else about the comments in the report? That's what we'd like to really hear.
The picture, but.
Well, then let's, if you stay here, as we talk, I'm sure we'll have questions.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Does anyone else from the public wish to get up and speak? Please. Introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Ted and Sarah. I'm the president of the River Oak Civic Association. And actually a qualified city commissioner candidate for District 4. Just thought I'd add that in. Now, this piece right here, I usually come and I'm in favor. I was born here, so in favor of London preservation. And I worked in this building for 13 years when it was the Hobie House restaurant. And I did and I was from day one to the day it closed. Very sad. And I did make a site visit here. I was wondering, I get the agenda every month, every month, and I saw the address and I knew right where it was. So I went down there, made a site visit, and it's phenomenal. I think what they're doing is fantastic. I'm usually 100% against plastic grass. I hated the tunnel top park. I hated all those other things. But in here, it just makes sense just for the ladies walking from table to table. And they're not talking, and this is, when we had it, this whole area was a parking lot. And I guess we could have charged more if we could have sold it as a historic parking lot. The only historic parking lot is $5 more because, it's all on the outside.
You have a historic car.
Yeah, oh, and that car is so cool. But let me tell you, what they've done to the outside, now I've been to these other meetings where what they want to plan to do in the Himmersey district. They want to get away from the bars and all of that stuff. And to me, this is a step in that direction. It's beautiful outside. The lights are nice. Everything these guys are doing is just phenomenal. And, I was very, very impressed. This is the direction that Himmersey wants to go in, and with the place with the chemistry place right next door, we're getting in that direction down there and away from just the nightlife. 4 a.m. booze and all that stuff.
Sure.
And I thought everything they did, it looks wonderful out there, and I'm in favor of what they're
Okay.
doing here.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Now, we'll close the public discussion. We'll open it up to the board. So Tim, why don't we hear from you first?
Mr. Mercedes, what is your position with this job, please?
I'm a partner.
Your partner. Okay, so 1 through 7,
1 through 7.
we already talked about them all. The fence placement and the ice cream cart is not gonna approval part of this application, nor is the sign.
Well, they are.
It says here, fence and placement of ice cream cart or structure is not approved as part of this application. Is that correct?
So as part of the staff report, it explains that the placement of, an element in front of the structure is not really appropriate for the design guidelines. Nor is the placement of that particular fence that's enclosing the ice cream cart.
Well, I'm just trying to
So-
understand if I was to say I approve all this,
Right.
what are they going home with? Are they going home with 1 through 7 or just going home with not 3 and
When
not
you
5?
make a motion, you can,
So these are suggested conditions for the board consideration based on the elements that are outlined within the staff report.
Okay.
So as usual, the board can make a determination on what conditions they would or would not like to include. Or additional
Okay.
conditions or modify the conditions.
Thanks
that
for
are
clearing that up.
proposed. Yeah.
Can I just ask one clarification as you're going? Does the car move?
It moves.
Okay.
So, it's connected to, I can move it, inside.
Okay,
Put the fence,
I just wanted to clear that
but
up.
I
Okay.
can move.
Thank you.
okay,
Okay.
I can.
Good.
Real quick,
Okay.
while we're on the condition, even if we don't condition the approval with respect to number 3, does that mean that the fence stay? Or is that?
I mean,
still
you
an
could
issue?
say, you could modify it and say that then at the southeast corner of the structure is not approved. That's part of it.
Right.
And you're allowing the ice cream part to be there.
Yeah, if we leave that condition out though, does that have any bearing on whether they can keep the fence or not?
I mean, they would still need to get a permit and they would still need to come back
All
for the fence because they didn't provide any details for the fence as part of this application.
It was more about
Kind of
protecting the car, because they were.
All right, but it's part of the. It's- okay. Shane, do you want to continue?
No, I just-
No, we
Are you
hijacked
done?
Tim.
I'm
Go
just
ahead,
trying to
go ahead.
I'm just trying to
We
get
totally took
clear
over.
on what they're gonna go home with. You guys are fine with not the sign, if we were to pull the sign out of this approval.
It's already
You're
pulled
fine
out.
with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so. And if we pulled the fence out of it to get
We're
this
okay
thing
with that,
moving
too.
for your fence in the car, you're okay with that?
Can you allow me guys to have the fence here?
I know.
Just so you know, the cars.
Okay, if you put the you see here, this is, the fence is here. Now, I'm gonna put marble table here. I know they're gonna destroy that if I leave them at night. I don't want guys to pull it in every night. So allow me to get a fence here then. I'll move the car and everything there.
Why can't you conceal the car with the landscaping like the rest of the property's
It's
landscaping?
complete, if you see, it's completely covered. With the cover, they
No, but I'm just saying that way you won't, you could put, perhaps you could put the landscaping to grow over the fence. So you wouldn't see the fence.
He's saying on the proposed fence that you're describing where you wanted one, he's mentioning to you if you were to put some live growth on it, that's what he's saying to
I
you.
can do this. This fence though, it's only like this when we're open from 8 AM to midnight. So you see the fence from midnight to 7 AM. I can remove, I can do whatever you guys want. I can.
No, I think if you remove it, I think your car's gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
No, what can I do?
No, it's the reality of it. I don't think it's to be tossed aside. I think
To
it's
be
a
honest
fair
with you, it's a
consideration, yeah.
mess. The week-
You have enough room there between the fence and the front there. I mean, I don't know, it's a foot or a little more.
Oh, yeah.
You could put some landscaping to cover
Yeah,
the
okay.
fence.
I can do that. Yeah, I can put that.
Well, it's less expensive
But
than
we're
putting a
getting,
new
we're
fence
getting
up.
into an arena we shouldn't even be getting into though.
Yeah,
because
that was my point.
That's our
Like,
whole
We,
distinguishing.
Okay.
we really need to be discussing that,
so-
like, I'm trying to, these guys.
They need to propose